In 1998, when I ran for county judge the first time, I was right where David was. And everything he said is exactly right, because I was going to go in there and I was going to keep the tax rate low and level it. I didn't do that. You want to know why? I voted for one tax increase, and that was in 2003 when the feds, remember 2002 and the hanging chads in Florida? And the government the feds came back and they had a knee-jerk reaction and said, you got to buy all these machines, $3 million worth of machines. Well, that was an unfunded mandate. That was the only year that I can remember when we had our public hearings in September that nobody showed up. Nobody, not one public person came in and said, don't raise my taxes like they usually do. That coupled, because when somebody comes in, even if it's just one person, and says, don't raise my taxes, I don't vote to raise them. But that coupled with the $3 million unfunded mandate, I voted for. But let me tell you why taxes are raised like they are, in my opinion. When I beat Don Macbeth, anybody here when Don Macbeth was here? Okay, he did everything. He did the taxes, he did the budget, he did the insurance, he did vendors, contracts, he did everything. And from what I can understand, the commissioners came in and did their road and bridge crew and they left, I guess. I don't know. I think it was a part-time job, okay? So when I beat Macbeth in '98, I heard a rumor 1 month later that the Commissioners Court, the '98 Commissioners Court, was going to divvy up all his responsibilities, and they were going to do them, and they were not going to allow me to do anything, you know, of the administrative stuff. So I heard that rumor. I called each commissioner, took him out to lunch individually. I said, I've heard this rumor, is it true? Please don't do that. Work with me, I'll work with you, we'll get, oh, no, we're not going to do that. They did. Every single one of them looked me in the eyeball and lied to me. And they divvied up all the administrative duties. And then 2 years later, they said, here's your duties back. I said, I don't want to do those. You know, you look me in the eyeball and lie, you just keep doing them. Really made them mad. I don't do administrative stuff. If you ask me anything about the budget or insurance, I couldn't tell you because I don't do it. The commissioners do it. Now, if you'll think, how many people in the commissioners court? 5. How many of those are commissioners? 4. So they ought to be doing 80% of the work anyway, right? Okay. So, but that's why the commissioners run the court now. And that animosity has carried over to new commissioners, and I still don't do it. They run them. Now I convene the meetings. I preside over commissioners court. I'm there at the budget hearings and the workshops. But you know, and I say, well, why don't we cut here? Well, we don't want to do that. Well, why don't we cut here? We cut $500,000 here. No, we don't want to do that. Well, why don't we cut over here? I don't want to do that. Now, when one of those commissioners resigned in the middle of their term, I got to appoint somebody. Then the vote was 3-2, 3-2, 3-2, 3-2. And they went back to 4-1, 4-1, 4-1. And then when Isidro Gutierrez came in, he was a Democrat, he voted with me. So it was 3-2 again. But you know, you can't win with 3-2, 3-2, 4-1, 4-1, 4-1. That's why the taxes are up. I can show you what they are. But that's neither here nor there. But that's why stuff is going, because they won't listen to what I say. And whether David wins or I win, it's the commissioners that you need to look at. Okay? Because if I get, I had to, you know, one more with me, I couldn't do it. They didn't want to do that. There are some positive things that have happened since '98, since I've been in there. We get a litigation report every year. When I got in there in '98, '99, we had 50, 60 cases where people were suing the county every year. That's dropped down to 6 last year. 4 of those we were dismissed in. 1 of them is pending. 1 of them is on appeal. And in April of 2004, we didn't have any suits against us. So litigation's gone down. And it's not because of me, it's because a lot of things put together, people are doing things right. You know, we're training, there's a lot of stuff going on. But that's gone from 50 or 60 down to less than a half a dozen. The turnover rate was around, in '98, '99, 2000, was around 34%. It's now down under 17%. The reserves, I guess this is a good thing, although it's probably a result of increased taxes. When I started, we had reserves of $9.5 million. That was in 1998. Today, we have reserves of 24.5 million. That's a good thing because it shows that we are financially sound. It improves our bond ratings. We have pretty good bond ratings. But you know, if they're raising taxes every year, see, we put at the end of '99 we put $3 million in reserves. And then we put next year 1.7 million. The next year 1.8 million. The next year 300,000. The next year 400,000. And I'm thinking, if we're raising taxes and we're putting that much in reserves, then we don't really need to raise taxes if we have that much money left over each year. So I couldn't explain why that's happening, but it's happening. And probably the last thing, we have at the Office of County Judge, by virtue of your office, you are the emergency management coordinator for the county. Okay, and David's right, you have to, there's at least 40% of judicial stuff that you have to do. It's closer right now to about 60%, 63%, and that includes probating wills and guardianships and mental competency hearings and alcohol hearings and a bunch of other stuff. And so I'm doing that, plus I'm doing emergency management. But we've appointed my emergency management coordinator, who is trying to establish a countywide plan. Now, the city and the county had a city-county plan, but we need first of all, a county plan where Wolfforth and Shallowater and Slayton and all the little jurisdictions around Idlewild are all put together in that. We're trying to do that. Plus, there's a regional plan. We've tried to get a regional emergency operations center. We applied for grants last 2 years and have been turned down, but that's important. So there's some good things that are happening. And as far as the issues, not just, we're ready to go? Okay, I'm through.